In the Bible, Jesus once said that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain to move, and it will. This statement is so startling because mountains don't simply move except by divine force. Thank goodness for that too, because Team Rainbow happens to have a mountain of their own, and this mountain simply refuses to move for anything less than the will of God himself. This is Montagne, the Mountain of Rainbow. Gilles Tour was born in Bordeaux, France, the third of four siblings. His father was an officer in the French army, and his mother was a school teacher. From the time he was a child, Gilles had a fierce sense of duty to protect and serve. This was due in part to the fact that he came from a military family, and his father had encouraged him and his brothers to pursue military life, but also because of his little sister, who he felt a close attachment to and a desire to protect. After graduating high school, Tour joined the police force, where he not only flourished but became indispensable. Tour is tall, strong, and imposing. His very presence can often act as a force of both intimidation and also reassurance, which helped move him up the ranks quickly. He was often sent to hostile locations to deal in crowd control and counterterrorism operations. Tour was never satisfied, though, and kept pushing himself further to be better than he was, which earned him a spot in the GIGN, where his large and imposing presence earned him his nickname, Montagne, the Mountain. Currently the longest-serving GIGN operative in the organization's history, Montagne studied in breaching tactics, combat engineering, and recon work. In 2015, he was invited to join Rainbow along with the other GIGN operatives, Twitch, Doc, and Rook. Though working alongside Rainbow, his loyalty to the GIGN has not diminished, and he spends a lot of his downtime as a trainer at the GIGN training facility, where Harry would conduct their interview sessions, as it made Montagne more comfortable to talk in a familiar place. In Rainbow, Montagne is dependable and trusted by his squad mates, though many feel he is somewhat unapproachable as well, since he says little unless he has to. He embodies the strong, silent type. Despite his quiet, though, Montagne does value and admire his teammates. He feels somewhat intimidated by them and their abilities. As a man of simplicity and pragmatism, he is impressed by the skill sets of his fellow operators and watches them intently, anxious to learn from them. He even made a note that Dokubi's virtual training skills could be useful to him. Montagne also struggles with a certain degree of self-doubt. He feels that he lacks the experience and intelligence that his peers have, since he rose swiftly through the ranks, not entirely because of his aptitude for quick thinking, ingenuity, interrogation, or high technical capabilities, but rather his imposing presence and strength, which allows him to act as a buffer and deterrent against hostiles. He even laments that he isn't bilingual and is jealous of the fact that his peers all seem to know at least 2 languages. Harry has encouraged Montagne to try and focus on one new language to learn and, when he decides it, to work with an operator fluent in it to help tutor him and to include him in conversations. During the Nighthaven incident, when Kali broke all ties between Nighthaven and Rainbow, Montagne was stoic about the issue and unmoved like the mountain he was. He had never truly trusted Kali and her ilk to begin with, always feeling sidelined or overlooked by the more aggressive Nighthaven operatives. In fact, Montagne had felt a genuine sense of annoyance towards Kali, who he saw as an unfeeling beast. Above all things, Montagne believes firmly in doing what's right. He encourages himself and others to live by a righteous standard that his family instilled in him from an early age, and seeing an operations team leader blatantly disregard the safety of her teammates for her own needs is nothing short of disgraceful to him. In 2022, Montagne joined into Rainbow's humanitarian squad, Wolfguard, under the leadership of his longtime associate and friend, Doc. Montagne was also sent with colleague Twitch to recruit new Rainbow operator Sens, who joined him in line on Operation Vector Glare to rescue an architect with knowledge on Nighthaven's involvement in the death of Masayuki Yahata. Upon engaging the mercenaries, Sens single-handedly dealt with the majority of the hostiles, while Montagne acting as cover for Lion and Sens. Since then, Montagne has come to admire Sens' capabilities as an operator, though he reminds them at times not to take their job too lightly. As he noted, Sens seemed rather lax during operations. Montagne comes off as large and horrifying, but in truth, he's a gentle giant. Montagne cares far more to save lives than to end them, but he cares about his teammates and the lives they may save. He believes in doing the right thing and taking damage for others because that's just what he's meant to do. When there are those who need something to hide behind, it's best to flee to the mountain. Montaigne's gadget is an extendable shield called La Roque. When fully extended, this shield will cover Montagne from head to toe, making him completely immune to all gunfire from the front. This makes Montagne an ideal point man, who can provide his comrades with cover, though he cannot return fire while the shield is extended. The shield can absorb 66% of all explosive damage received, and while extended, the shield has a higher tolerance to flinching, unlike most other shields in the game, which can be meleeed to create an opening, making his shield the most effective in terms of a solid defense. In terms of his loadout, as Montagne's primary weapon is his shield, he only comes with 2 secondary weapon options that he can use while holding the shield. It should be noted that Lion can aim down sights while holding his shield, but doing so will make his head more easily exposed for a headshot.
You drop the diffuser. Down to 1 friendly.
The P9 handgun is a gun we've discussed before with Lion. It's a versatile handgun with moderate damage output. It has decent ammo capacity and boasts minimal recoil. The best thing about the P9 is likely the iron sights, which make it very easy to line up shots with this weapon. He also carries the LFP-586 handgun, a revolver. It's also one we've discussed previously with Lion. This revolver has incredibly high damage capability, making it an absolutely devastating handgun, but it suffers from a severe recoil and a low ammo capacity in reserve, with a slower than average reload time. And as I said previously, to use this gun requires skill and confidence, which I simply don't have in abundance. The best thing to do with Montagne is not aim for kills. If you're playing Montagne, you're not going to be the guy racking up kills. This isn't to say that you can't get kills with Montagne, you most certainly can, but that's not your primary goal here. Montagne's goal is to be a team player and cover his allies. You can use Montagne to very easily cover entryways like doorways. You can use him to use covering fire so that enemies can be unable to shoot your own comrades as they fire from lines of sight beside you, and to also block off enemies from stopping a diffuser. There are lots of ways you can use Montagne, and it's all about your creativity, but really you're not going to be racking up a great deal of kills with Montagne if you're playing him just right. The key again with Montagne is teamwork, working alongside your allies to give them cover while they rack up the kills. Not to say that that's a wrong way to play. There are some people like me who are just not good at killing the enemy and require this good solid help to the team. Although I will admit, and I wish I had footage for this, there have been times where in the past I've chosen Montagne to be helpful, my teammates thought I was weak for that, and team killed me because they thought it was funny that I played the weak operator. But I think that's largely because people just don't understand how to use Montagne in an effective way. My conclusion about Montagne is this. He is an excellent operator for the team. I think it's very neat that you have this really big, imposing character who feels like he holds everyone back. On the one hand, he's strong, he's powerful, he's dependable, he's big, he's an imposing figure. And yet he looks around at all these new age technological geeks, these people who have really cool technological stuff to add, people who are bilingual or trilingual or quadruple lingual, people with years and years of experience and technical savvy that he just doesn't have. And he feels like he's, just a brute with a shield. And you know what? In a way, he does kind of feel that way sometimes. But when the chips are down and things get real, I want a mountain between me and the enemy. And luckily, Montagne does fit the bill. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.